Right? Same stuff, right? See, they learned that. They built a whole business out of that, right? You guys can do the same thing. All right, coaching. Next up, we talked about it. Next step, guys, I mean, one of the major points of this is the gear up for bold. Gear up for bold. And then it's also the learn to earn model. Designed to get into action. Designed to get into action. All right, so here's the meat and potatoes of what we're going to go over today on page 10. 8 steps we're going to cover. So we're going to aim for your goal. We're going to put something on the wall to make sure that it's measurable and something that we can figure out where we're at in relationship to it on a regular basis. So it's quantifiable. So we're going to win customers. We're going to build your business database, and we're going to find out the importance of that. We're going to become a customer service professional, and we're going to power forward with habits that count. All right, those habits that make a difference, right? And we're going to plan. We're going to plan for our new life, guys. More people spend time planning for their vacation than they do their life. Be in that 3% club. Be in that elite club that actually have an idea of why they're doing what they're doing. And then leverage the resources. We're going to leverage the resources that we've got here for you, and then we're going to open up for business. We're going to jam. We're going to go. All right. So we're going to do some role playing. That's practice, basically. Making phone calls. That's the pillar of what we're doing. And then building your database. We'll talk about the value and scheduling time for classes. I want you to put this in there at the bottom of this page. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. That holds true for everything in your business, in your life, your family.
John, you said something along those lines about it. You chose this, but not everything else. Talk more about that, because that's really cool, that perspective you have on that.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. So, I'm highly appreciative of everybody that spent time to carve out of their day-to-day to be here, in essence, with me. That's important to me. I'm really excited about that, because I know when you're saying yes to this, you're saying no to everything else that's out there. Everything. That includes your family. So this has to be extremely important. Now, when I'm looking at it, I got to make sure that if I'm saying no to something like my family, I better be productive in that time. I better be bringing everything that I can in that time. Because if I'm not, I don't know how you go back home and say, gee, family, I just wasted my entire day today, but it was cool. That just doesn't jive with me, right? So by you guys saying no to everything else that's out there, we want to make sure that our time is spent in the most productive manner possible. And to me, I think the most productive way possible is to create options for our family, which comes through being productive, right? All right. So let's shoot on to page 11. So what's your definition of success? We talked about this. The average realtor does 8 transactions per year. Okay. The average night agent does 16 per year. So, it's making sure that we're not getting in a happenstance kind of situation, and we're being purposeful with it. 16 transactions a year, we talked about that, $87,840. Here's what I want you guys to be looking at, though. What I've noticed is that every person's definition of success is different. So over the next 12 months, I want you to put this down there on your piece of paper, all right? Over the next 12 months, what's the dollar amount that you want to make in real estate? How much is that? You guys got that number on there? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that you hit that number? 10 being, oh my gosh, some really bad things are going to happen in my world and my family if I don't hit this number. 1 being, man, I don't know, I'm just shaking my head, doing what I've been asked to do today. Doing no conviction. If that number isn't a 10, take that financial goal down 10 grand. Are we at a 10 yet? If we're not at a 10, take it down another 10 grand. Are we at a 10 yet? You guys kind of see what I'm doing here? So if that goal, to give you an example, if I was at $100,000, but I only had a commitment level of a 7 to it, then I'd say, all right, I'm going to bring it down to 90 grand. Maybe it goes to 8, a level of intensity of an 8. And then maybe at 70 grand, it's a 9. And then maybe at 60 grand, it's a 10. So now here's the thing. I know people move away from pain quicker than they move towards pleasure. Make sense? So there's not a doubt. You don't even need to be here today if your 10 is at that 60,000. No, because I know you're going to get that 60 grand. You're going to work hard at it, and you're just going to get that, right? The value proposition for you for becoming masterful in each one of those areas is that 40 grand difference that I just illustrated there, right? So going from 60 grand to 100 grand. So basically, what I'm looking at there is that whatever that number is, if it's 100 grand and I'm at a 7 by level of intensity, what do I have to bring every day? Success and failure is one on a daily basis. So how high does my intensity meter need to be every single day? Yeah, if it's a 10, I gotta be at a 10, right? But if I'm casually committed to it at a 7 or a 6, all you need to do is have a casual commitment to your business, right? Now, is that a bad thing, by the way, guys? No, not at all. So, I mean, we gotta remove that judgment there that some of us sometimes get into there. So, I mean, if we have a casual commitment to our business, then we just need to make sure that we maintain that on a regular basis. But if it's a 10, we need to bring that intensity every single day, right? How might we do that? Word starts with A. Accountability. All right, I like it. All right, let's move on. Page 12. Let's reverse engineer that. So let's use that number of $100,000. So if you look at A there, annual gross income goal of 100 grand, if that's our goal, then you can adjust this for yourself if need be just below it. The average sale price again is 183 in St. Charles. That might be a little bit different right now, but let's just use that number for the moment. Commission percentage is 3% on average. So our commission dollar would be B times C, which is $54.90, $5,490. So annual transactions that you're looking for to get 100 grand, gross commission is 18 deals. How many months are there?
12.
Nice. You're here. I like it. All-star.
Glad you showed up. The rest of us were stumped.
So if we have 12 months in a year, and we need to get 18 transactions, how many do we need to get per month? 1.5, right? I mean, is that freaking you out? 1.5 deals a month.
That's what I wanted.
Right? I mean, so we're bite-sizing it, right? We need to reverse engineer it. So 1.5 transactions per month is what we're looking to get. So let's go into page 13 here. This is basically your compounded payday. These are the activities that we kind of outlined earlier, those 4 major things, the contacts, the appointments set, the appointments had, and the contracts written. These are the numbers that you need to be tracking. Because these are going to be unique to you. Now also, if you start tracking these numbers and you have a high level of contact, but your conversions to appointments aren't good, then what kind of conversations can we have as a mentor-mentee?
Help you.
Help.
Scripts, right? What do we need to go and help you with that conversion, right? We can become much more precise with our conversation about how to help your business go up if we're tracking our numbers. If we're not tracking our numbers, then what do? Very generic conversation. Well, do more activity. Typically, it goes to just do more activity, right? If you're not getting the results, do more activity.
Work harder, work harder, work harder, work harder, work harder.
Yeah, and how does that work? Not very well, right? You know, we got to work smarter, and this is one of the ways to do it. So those are the numbers you want to track. Now, on 14, get the leads, start with who you know. Here's something I like. I kind of modified this a little bit because one of the quotes I heard somebody say is that, you know, if you're not getting the results you want, do what your coach told you to do. Start doing what your coach told you to do. So I'm going to modify that a little bit and say, if you're not getting the results you want, stop doing it the way you've been doing it and start using the scripts that you've been told to use. These scripts, I mean, it's not like, you know, someone just was like thinking, man, this would be an interesting thing to say, right? I mean, these scripts are proven methods on ways that have worked in the past. And then something I want you to write on the side here, you know, it's an acronym, MICA, M-I-C-A. M is for memorize. Memorize the scripts. Memorize the dialogues. By the way, I think that what you'll notice is a lot of the more experienced agents, they have more dialogues than they have scripts. What's the difference between a script and a dialogue?
Dialogue's internal.
Dialogues before.
More conversational.
Dialogue.
Personalized.
Two, customized there, but there's two people in a dialogue. Script is, I'm going this way, I'm hoping that they respond the way I want them to, because if they don't, then I don't know what to say, right? But you'll notice that those more experienced agents get into dialogue, right? So memorize the scripts and dialogues, internalize. So what's the difference between memorize and internalize? When I say that, what's the difference for you guys?
Well, if you just memorize it, it sounds like you're reading the script. If you internalize it and know what you're saying,
Yeah.
it's gonna sound like you know what you're saying.
I think that, I agree with you there a lot. I mean, because I think a lot of it is that when you're just reading it, I think what I'm hearing people say is that my tonality doesn't sound like it's me. I might use those words, but that's not my tonality. That's not my inflection, right? Right. When you internalize it, then you start using that, the tonality, the inflections, that all that stuff starts to become you, right? You might be saying the same thing, but remember, the words we say are actually really, what, 7%? And the other 93% is body language and tonality. So that's where tonality kind of comes in. They customize. Only now have you earned the right to customize the script. Only now have you earned the right to customize the script. What do most people do? I literally will pass out a script today. You're going to see scripts in here. What will most people not here, out there, what will they do? Right. They're going to read it, they're going to get on the phone, and then they're not going to follow it. They're immediately customizing the script. And then they come back to me and they say, gee, I didn't get the results that I was supposed to get. Now what is my response?
Did you follow the script?
Did you follow the script? I gotta tell you, I can't tell you what the track record is. I can't tell you what the expected outcome is if you say it your way. It might be better. I'm not gonna lie, it might. I don't know what that is though, okay? I can tell you what the track record is. If you use the script and what it looks like, this is the predictable outcome. Now if you start doing that over the course of time, then you've earned the right to customize it. Because you're putting it into play. You're seeing what the reactions are.
Well, when you memorize and internalize the scripts, John,
Okay.
the whole purpose of that for me is to be able to listen to what the customer has to say. Because it's not about me, it's about them. So when I've memorized, internalized the scripts, and then I can really listen to what they're up to in their life about real estate, then I can customize, because then it's just natural. It's like, it's just a customization, because you're memorizing, internalizing, you listen, and then you can customize.
Yeah, I mean, because you're trying to go through some of that trial and error. You're bouncing off of people, right? You know, so once you got it customized, then the A is for actualize. Which is, you know, my way of saying that, you know, that's when you start really hitting those high level results. That's when it starts coming up in your results. That's when it starts coming up in your bank account, right?
And you got to be careful with that, because you'll ask them if they want to buy or sell a house, and they'll say yes. And you got to be ready for that.
Good point, right?
That's on my script.
I mean, serious, right, Bonnie? Bonnie knows. You get a buyer, you want to buy this house, they say yeah. You're like, right? So,
I'll tell you what, if you look at a word about scripts, go 3 paragraphs down, and in your second line, using someone else's words may seem awkward at first, and you may think, that's not me. Anybody ever felt that way? I have. We've got a few honest people out there. Good. Don't give up on scripts until you've tried them. What does that sound like? What type of approach?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. What's the broccoli approach? Humor me.
Try it, you might like it.
Yeah, and if you don't, put some ranch on it, right? What is that? You know, memorize, internalize, customize, right? You know, so try it, you might like it, it might yield the results that you're looking for, and if it doesn't, then you might customize just a moment, right?
Also, John, one of the best things that helped me with scripts, has anybody ever recorded themselves when they've gone through a script?
it's ugly.
That is money in the bank. I sounded like a robot, and I mean, not recording the whole conversation, everybody's phone has record on it, and listening back to you speaking, I said, damn, I wouldn't have bought that from you either.
It's hard work.
That was ridiculous, but no, that helped me define and get comfortable with scripts. Every industry has scripts, so is insurance, so that is a huge thing that helped me.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the only way to look at script, by the way, I love that. That's kind of 202 stuff right there. I love it. And people that dial into that, that's going to help the trajectory of the way that they communicate at a high level. So I think that's a huge opportunity for you there to learn. So I appreciate you sharing that. Another thing too, guys, scripts is just the best way to handle some of the objections that come up, right? You know, to me, it's just having a response to those frequently asked questions. That's what you're doing. That's what scripts are. And then, you know, for the best scripts, it's you're being proactive, addressing those potential objections that are coming up. All right. Okay. Skip ahead to 19. A note on messages. We always have a fun little conversation about messages. What to do with messages. What are your guys' thoughts about messages? To leave messages or not to leave messages? That is the question, right? So what's your guys' take on it?
I had a real client, an agent that's been in business for years and years and years, and she said she does her 10 calls every morning, and she prefers not to talk to them.
Okay.
And she says she still gets results by just leaving the messages, because then if she doesn't talk to them, then she's not spending her whole morning just
Right.
yammering on with them.
Right. Okay.
So,
Good.
I mean, but some people do say that they get results just by doing that.
Okay. All
They'll
right.
say, I got your message, you know I got this friend.
And I can hear that, and I hear that quite a bit. What else out there, guys?
Leaving messages as long as you're giving them a reason to call you back. A lot of times when people leave messages, they throw off the whole conversation that they're already going to talk to them about on the answer machine, and it goes beep halfway through, and you're like, damn it. But
Do you guys, I mean, nowadays we have those phones that show us exactly how long the message is. So when you see something that goes over about 15 seconds, I mean, is that the first message you listen to? Or is that the last message? I mean, I think I still have one from a week and a half ago. This is probably not a lie. A week and a half ago, it's like a minute long. I care not to listen to it because I just don't want to be stuck for a minute and a half.
I've been waiting for the call back.
I wanted to say earmuffs.
I know.
So-
Those long emails.
Yeah, it's like the long emails too. All right, so basically what I'm hearing Brent say is that so long as you're using curiosity, that's the key here. So long as you're using curiosity and you're giving them, I write this down, this is a really big one because it took me a long time to figure out exactly how to articulate this. If you're giving them a compelling reason to call you back, what's the compelling reason to call you back?
I usually don't ever, I don't ever say, like I'll say my name, but I never say what company I'm with. And if it's like, I'll say I'm calling about your house, or so they'll call me back, not knowing why, if I'm
Curiosity.
wanting to buy it or if I'm, yeah.
Right.
So I leave it short and sweet, and I don't say what company I'm with or what I do for a living or anything like
It's
that.
like when you're calling expireds or something, or when you're just calling.
Pardon me?
When you call like expireds or.
All
Yeah.
right, so let's dive in here. All right, so I'll just share it. Here's my take on it, and I have a lot of conviction with it, and I know it's up for debate. But here's my take on it. If you don't have a relationship with the person, you do not leave a message. That's my take. Now, here's why. And now, even if I'm calling expireds, basically it goes this way. I call, no answer, no answer, no answer, message. Because if I leave no answer, no answer, no answer, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what's the person looking at? We all have caller ID now. What's the reason, what's the compelling reason I want them to call me back? Curiosity, right? Curiosity is going to be, do you think I've already got a compelling enough reason if they've got a number that's hit them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? They're curious. Where's that number coming from? What's it about? I've had more callbacks from that than I have any message I've ever left with a person I don't have a relationship with, right? So, no answer, no answer, no answer. And the third one, because I'm giving up on that person, that lead is a shot lead at that point for me. I'm not spending good money after bad. So then I'm going to leave a message, and I'm probably going to leave something like what you said there, Liz. Hey, this is John Sprague, just looking to talk to you about your homestead. Really vague, right? Could mean 1,000 different things. The person's thinking, so what in the world does that mean, right? So then that would compel them to call me back, right? So now the individuals that I do have a relationship with, I'm leaving a message. I'm gonna leave a message, and it might say, hey, just want to touch base with you. Ashley, I haven't had a chance to speak with you in a long time. Let me give you a buzz. All right, give me a buzz back if I'm gonna run a couple ideas by you. By the way, I use that pretty much every day. You know, if you get a voicemail from me, a lot of it's gonna be something like that, right? I just want to run a couple ideas by you. Or, kind of a little gravity because the late Jim Beardsley had a great line. They said, hey, Carla, I just want to reach out to you. I've got a question that only you can answer. Can you give me a buzz back? Right? So now that person calls back, and what's his question? Wait, no, what's up? What's up? What's the question?
Do you have anything to buy or sell?
Do you know of anybody?
Who do you know? Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate? He didn't lie, did he? I mean, he said only you can answer it. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell in real estate, right? All right, now if you look into the second piece here, a contact is an actual dialogue between two or more people that addresses real estate business. I want to be real clear. You got to be understand the purpose of making calls. The purpose of making calls is that's the pillar of that relationship there. And so you want to make sure that you have it's an opportunity for you to build that relationship and deepen it. So you do want to engage that person, right? Now the contact though. This is something I paid my coach. If you break down what it costs per half hour, $250 for this one definition. And I thought I'd share it with you guys because it made a big difference in my life. A lot of people call a contact a call. In my world, those are two totally different things, right? A contact is a dialogue between two individuals, myself as an agent, and any prospective client out there. And I'm asking them for one of two things. Either I'm asking them for an appointment, or I'm asking them for a referral. That is my definition of contact. Now here's what I also will say, is that you can become as literal as you want with that. Remember what they told you in school, when you cheat, you're only doing what?
Cheating yourself.
Cheating yourself. Right? So, I mean, if you want to make it more literal and say, well, I mean, it could be a text, sure, whatever, man, it's your business. If you want to put that false sense of security around yourself, great, go for it. If it's an email, great, go for it. To me, it's a dialogue, two people engaging about real estate. So that's what I kind of be looking at. Go ahead and look at page 20. Your sphere of influence. So, at this point, I spoke with a number of agents, and upwards of 1,200, 1,300 agents, and 98% of them tell me where they get their business, the number one place they get their business. And anybody care to guess where, looking at the page?
Friends, family.
Friends, family, past clients. Guys, the jargon is sphere of influence, right? Is that a surprise to anybody? No, it shouldn't be. National Association of Realtors, write this down. National Association of Realtors says that there's one word that differentiates, the reason that somebody's going to use you over Realtor XYZ out there. Everybody know what that word is? Trust. Write that down, real big, trust, okay? Your sphere of influence, how are you doing in that trust category? Think about the words, sphere of influence. If you have influence on somebody, do they trust you? They better, right? And I'll tell you what, if they don't trust you, you have no influence on them, so they're not in your sphere. So let's say that stands to reason, that's logical, right? So, number one reason they're going to use you is trust. So the whole idea of your sphere of influence is identify, first of all, the thing we got to look at is to identify who's in our sphere of influence. And I would write these four things down, because a lot of people, they like to go ahead and make their sphere of influence, their definition, really dynamic and crazy, and then all of a sudden their sphere ends up being like 4 people. So here's really what it is, right? Which, by the way, what they're really identifying, they're identifying their core advocates. Okay, that's what they're really doing, that's where their mind's going, but it's much more generic and much more basic than where their mind's going. So really it's this, I know who they are. I can identify them in a lineup, okay? So when I see them walking down the street, oh yeah, I know that person, right? That's the first thing, I can identify them. Write this down. This is how basic it is, because we all like to advance it, and that's when it gets a little crazy. So I can identify them in a lineup. Then they can identify me in a lineup. They know who I am, right? So they know who I am, I know who they are. The third thing is, they look at me in a positive light. So if anybody's ever heard me kind of say this before, I usually kind of go, haha, funny. I think it's funny, so if you laugh, you get extra credit. Mark, you're my favorite. There you go. Here's the thing. Likely the guy that I cut off on the way to work today, we're not exchanging Christmas cards, right? They don't look at me in a positive light, so therefore I don't have influence on that person, right? So do they look at me in a positive light? So we have 3 criteria. I know them, they know me, they think of me in a positive light. And the 4th piece, we got some method to communicate with them. In this day and age, that means physical address, that means phone number, that means email address, or what else? There it is. Some type of social media. And I don't care which one. It could be, there's plenty of people that are offline, I've got one of 4 areas that can communicate. What did I omit there that most people put in? Anybody know? Geographic area. I have a lot of people say, well, my aunt lives in Texas. I mean, why do I have her in my sphere?
They sell homes in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got running water and electricity too. It's amazing. I mean, they've got the same resources, and your opportunity is leveraged much further than that, right? One of my greatest referral sources is in Austin, Texas. I got a great friend that lives there, and pretty much everybody that he knows that's bought or sold a home, I've referred that agent, right? I can tell you that was a significant source of financial resources for myself. Now, if I were you guys and I was building that, I'd be purposeful about saying, where do most people move to and from St. Louis? I'm thinking even closer. You see a lot of people transplant from here to Kansas City, here to Chicago, right? The Lake's a big one, right? I mean, that might not be a relocation, but it might be Jefferson City. So you got a lot of different resources there that are local. I'd be purposeful about building a relationship with an agent in that area, because if you've got a dense geographic sphere of influence, then make sure you got that resource there. So those are the 4 things. You don't have to go much further than it. Now I also say, how many people do you think are in your sphere of influence? Somebody just kind of hear me and I don't walk through this. Can you tell me that?
394.
394. So you know exactly what the number is.
Yep.
Okay.
1,800, 250 core.
1,800, 250 core. All right, so you guys seeing this here? This is a perfect demonstration. 2 highly experienced agents know exactly what their number is. Did anybody else get an aha there? All right, that's a huge aha to me. Now, brand new agent, or I gotta tell you, here's the amazing thing. I mean, I've had a number of highly experienced agents. I'm talking 6, 7, 8, $10 million producers. They don't have a sphere of influence together. They don't have a database, right? So, to me, that's a huge opportunity for them. And if you guys start doing that before you even get out of the gate, or as you're igniting your business right now, or reigniting it, create that database. And so those 4 things that I gave you, the 4 basic criteria, how many people do you think meet that criteria? Rattle off a number. Anybody?
394.
250. Okay. See, I appreciate that. And see, now this is common. Most people will say 50. Now, Robin, since you humor me, can I ask you a couple more questions here? How long have you been in the area? In around 16 years. 16 years. Okay, so I'm going to push a little bit here because I know that everybody knows 250 people that they don't even know that they know. I'd write that down, by the way, guys. Everybody knows 250 people that they don't even know that they know. There's a couple exercises to go through. All right? What does it say at the very top of page 21? What does it say?
Your sphere is bigger than you think.
There you go, right? All right, so the very first step, go through this right here. Your immediate family. Hobbies and sports group, personal services, friends, teachers, home auto repair, relatives, church club, volunteers, other real estate agents. Whoa, what's that?
Reals.
What? I can get referrals from other real estate agents?
Mailbox money.
Nick, did we talk about ways to get referrals from other agents? Right? Neighbors, doctors, dentists, mortgage, title, appraisal, inspection, past co-workers, that's a huge one. Bankers, insurance, financial attorney, huge. What Brian Kelso likes to call that single source lead generation tool. Because this is something where I would spend time filling out. Now there's a few other things here too. Cell phone. How many people are in your cell phone? Anybody want to humor me there?
94.
984 people.
now.
This is not a joke. 984 people that are in my cell phone. And I'm embarrassed to tell you I've got maybe a third of them in my database. Right? So maybe put those people in your database. Somebody talked about social media. Actually, I know you're active on Facebook. So how many friends do you have on Facebook?
864.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. I gotta tell you, if you're not into social media, I get it. That's fine. But I will tell you, here's the value of social media. To me, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that sort of stuff, it's a database that other people update for you. You guys catch that? they're updating their database, or your database. So you, in essence, have 864 people in your sphere of influence. Now, what we gotta do is figure out what to be consistent with our communication with them, and that's what we can go ahead and look at. So just by, sharing with you a couple of things there, you think you might be over 50? See, all of us are that same way, right? So, I mean, we gotta go ahead and kind of walk through it. Now,